Okay, so the Everglades, the fun part, the part I was looking forward to for a long time. Um, One penny here, getting ready to start the Florida Trail section of my journey. We'll see how far I make it. Southern Terminus. Heading off into 3 days of swamp hiking to get to 75. I'll see you later. So you get there to the Oasis Visitor Center, and they've got a big pond out front with a crocodile in it and large parking area, and they've got a place inside you can watch a film and talk to some of the rangers. It was interesting to me to find out that none of the rangers in there have actually been out in the swamp. So that's not their job. They're there to talk to the public, and they don't go out into the swamp. One piece of information they did give me right towards the end was that some of the well-known camping spots in the swamp, someone just decided to go ahead and change their names, some official. So where they used to have names that meant something, now they have strange names like, I don't know, Blueberry or Butterfly or something, and it doesn't tell us anything, the hikers. So you have to know where they're at on the map and know what they're called now. But I was very excited about getting to the swamp. I really wanted to go hike in the wilderness. Been a boyhood dream. Thinking about what if you were the first settlers ever to get into an area and you had to carve your way through the area and you didn't know anything about it. And it's not quite like that because there's a well-established trail, but it was very interesting, exciting. My pack had that all loaded up. Started off walking through there, got to the end of the fence along the airport, and then you head off, and you're in areas where, depending on the year or the time of year, could be wet season or dry season, and then also depending on whether or not it's drought that particular year. So it's been drought down there for quite some time. And I started off and it was in areas of the swamp that should have had water, ankle deep or so, or streams running kind of through there. And there wasn't anything. Man, oh man, is this beautiful. Absolutely stunning. This is really something out here. I am loving this. I am loving this. See y'all later. Hey everybody, one penny here. Just to stop, I thought this area highlighted, without the water and without so much mud, the fact that this whole area is just limestone. Built up coral reef over the centuries. And the trail goes through here, and as you can see from the funny shapes, it erodes irregularly and makes it very hard to see when you're walking and there's water here. So once again, it's really great for me that there is no water, or very little water at this time. I can see all the rocks, or most of them. I can step on top of them or avoid them. So it's great. Again, it's a great day, just perfect weather. It's just beautiful out here. I'll talk to you later. It's not that I didn't get to some areas that had water in them, but starting off, there wasn't much. I went the whole day, and I think there was one area of water on the trail, and I just ended up walking out around it in the trees. But 10 Mile Camp was really nice. By that time, you're getting a little tired. Got a kind of a late start that day, and decided that was where I was going to camp. One penny here at 10 Mile Camp, and I have decided to cowboy camp. It's only supposed to get down to 60 tonight, so a nice breeze. Everything I've got's been coated with permethrin. I haven't seen a bug all day. Haven't seen any wildlife all day. Got a nice little campsite here. I'm all alone. So I'm gonna have myself a little dinner, a little sweet tea, and head off to bed, get up for an early start. See y'all tomorrow. Bye. Was there all alone, nobody around. A number of the water sources were dried up or low water, so you had to make sure you were filtering your water, watching your map, checking the different locations, and I did okay. But it was really neat. The first night in the swamp was very strange because I grew up in the northern states, and you get outside and you sleep outside at night in the spring, summer, and fall, and you are all night long, thousands of insects. You just hear bugs everywhere making all kinds of noise. And here I am in the swamp, the big Cypress swamp, thinking it's a swamp, man. There's going to be so many bugs, so many insects, there's going to be so many animals, so much wildlife, so much noise. It's going to be hard to sleep at night. And it was exactly the opposite. It was so quiet. There was no sound. And I didn't see any wildlife except for a few birds. No alligators, no crocodiles, no bobcats, no panthers, no anything at all. No rabbits, no raccoons, possums, nothing. It was just laying there so quiet. It was eerie. It was eerie because it was so quiet. It was the exact opposite of what I had expected. So that was very strange. Get up. This is what the swamp looks like at night. It is just plain black. It's just before 8 o'clock at night. And this is what it sounds like. Absolute quiet. Not even any bugs. Well, I'm used to Ohio nights and North Carolina nights where you got 1,000 bugs out there making noise. I'm in the middle of a swamp in Florida. Not a sound. This is amazing. Good night. The next morning, start off hiking again. I thought it would take 3 days, 10 miles a day. It's 30-mile swamp. I thought that was pretty reasonable. And the second and third days were just really tough. You get to a place where the trail is kind of up and down, up and down, up and down, and just 3 or 4 feet apart. So the high sections might be firm, they might be mud that you sink in. The water, you might step down and you're on something solid, or it might be mud and you sink down in it. If the trail is so wide and you try to walk on the sides thinking that's firmer land, that's you're going to find out it's not, and your feet will slip down into the muddy part or the wet part. It is very difficult going on and on. And so what you see is a lot of people have gone off the trail because at least it's level. There's not those up and down whoop-de-doos on the trail. So you're off the trail and suddenly you're in this yellow grass that comes up to your knees or higher. So you're walking through that, and the ground's a little bit moist. And then what you had was, through this yellow grass was an orange vine. And it was very thin, but it would trip you up big time. And you've got your poles out, so it's catching on your poles. And you need your poles because if you're on the trail where the mud is, you need 3 points of contact to keep from falling on your face or on your butt or whatever. And those orange vines would trip you up. Plus, as soon as you get off the trail, the young trees coming up through there, they're anywhere from 2 feet off the ground to 6 or 8 feet off the ground, and their limbs are sticking out. So you're walking through the limbs, and they're all stark white. It was just really amazing, and you'll see pictures. I'll add pictures on the end of this video. Just got to keep following those orange blazes, looking way out ahead, seeing where they are, and keep heading towards them. See you later. but it's tough walking no matter what, and you can slog through the trail and you never know whether your foot's going to sink into a limestone hole or be on top of something or slide around. You don't know water. It might look like the water's 3 inches deep, and then you sink in, 8 to 10 inches of mud underneath that. So I found that part really difficult, and it was the first few days that I actually had my entire pack. So second days, third days were really tough. I didn't make the progress that I was hoping to make. And I got to a point where the map said, here's a pine island, and there are some places you can camp there. And people are happy to get here because the next stop, which I think was Oak Island, is 2.5 miles away through deep water. With lots of mud, and so it's really hard to get there. And it was later in the day, and I thought, I don't really have to get that far, so I pitched up on Pine Island and slept there the next. One Penny here. Good morning. I got up, packed up camp, been on the trail for a little while. Heading up to the next place is Oak Camp, 13 miles. Just enjoying the scenery. It's just stunning, beautiful out here. This is amazing. Just wanted to give you a quick morning update. I'll talk to you later in the day. Bye. Next day I went past Oak Island to Ivy Island. One Penny here, watching a little swamp sunset. Hopefully my last night in the swamp. I got 4 miles to get out in the morning. It has been a tough slog getting through here. So I am really looking forward to getting out tomorrow and maybe spending a night at a hotel, having some good food and a lot of cold drinks. It has just been horribly hot and humid, and I'm just happy to be here at this point. I am staying the night here at Ivy Camp, and there is my tent. And the big thing at Ivy Camp is apparently that platform they've got over there. I don't know why it's there, but everybody talks about it. So done for the evening, hitting the bed, hitting the tent. See y'all tomorrow. Bye. One Penny here. It's a very foggy morning. The sun should be up and brightly shining, but it's not cutting through the fog here at Ivy Camp. I'm just about all packed up. Hopefully I'll be out of here within about 5 hours, maybe 6. See y'all later. That was kind of a slog. There are some nice areas where you come up on some grassy savannas. There was some deep water, which isn't really that hard to walk through. I kind of liked walking through the deeper water more than the trail that's just up and down in mud and slush and all that. Hello everybody, it's One Penny here. That's the path I just came up, and this is the path I'm heading towards. This is the water up to my calves. It's been a little deeper, but this is the beginning of the wet part of the swamp. I've got about 1/10 of a mile to go to get to a dry spot of land, and I'll take my shoes and socks off, try to dry my feet a little bit, take a little rest, get something to eat. Then it's 2.5 miles through stuff like this till the next small place to get out and try to get dry. I don't know if I'm going to get out of the swamp tonight. I'll have to see how much time has passed between my markers and look at what's ahead and figure out if I'm going to make it out of the swamp tonight. And call my support person, let him know. He'll either have to pick me up or spend another day somewhere else. So that's all for now. One Penny out. And Ivy Island has a big platform on it. I don't know what it's for, but pitch tent there. got up the next day thinking I've got, 3 or 4 miles or so just left to get out of here, and that it was going to be just like the stuff I had come through to get there. But instead I had like maybe a half mile of some nasty stuff, and then it was dry. It was a swamp buggy road that was dry all the way back up to 75 to get out of the swamp. So that was interesting. I have just stumbled across what I believe is probably the very best section of the Florida Scenic Trail in the swamp. Dry, packed flat, easy. It probably is only a couple hundred yards long, but boy, this is nice walking. See y'all later. Hey, it's One Penny again. Many times the trail crosses these buggy tracks through the swamp, and you think, why in the world can't they just make the trail follow this road for a little while? Well, here's where the trail came in. Looks okay back that way, except for that abandoned sleeping bag. And then you look forward, and there's a trail going off to the left. So you can never tell what shape these roads are going to be in either. A lot of times they have plenty of standing water in them, whereas the trail is a little drier or just muddier. But some of the things you see out here on the Florida Scenic Trail. See y'all later. One Penny here. That's the direction I just came from. This is called a tropical island, and the path comes on up here to the iconic bench, 1.3 miles in from the trailhead at 75. So I'm stopping here to take a break, and then I'll head on up. Got about 3/10 of a mile before I get to some swamp buggy trail. Hopefully it'll be easy walking from here for the next 1.3 miles out to 75. Talk to y'all later. Hello everybody. It's One Penny, and I've just popped out a little bit ago onto this swamp buggy track. Obviously pretty dry. Hopefully it stays dry the rest of the way. I've got about 1 mile left to go, and you can hear the traffic. So I'm gonna put everything away and make time on down this trail, and be nice to get somewhere and have a nice cold drink and sit where there's some air conditioning and relax a little bit. See y'all later. Bye. The famous gate at the north end of the swamp. Now I just have to try to make an entry in the box there, and then get out through the gate, head on down to the rest stop, and wait for my ride. Oh lordy. And then heading north of 75. So once I got to 75, I think we went and got a cheap hotel somewhere. I think it was all the way up in Clewiston, and then came back the next day and I did the section north of 75. I may have the order, I think I've got the order mixed up there. Got to Clewiston, and I think the very next day I did like 15 or 16 miles south from Clewiston. So we piece it together doing the same thing, trying to figure out where to start, where to stop, where it's going to be easy to get to, trying to make things easier for my support driver too. So I think actually from Clewiston I went down, and then the next day went down and came back up to where I stopped from Clewiston. The third day went down again into the Seminole Reservation. Good morning everybody, One Penny here. Got out of the swamp yesterday, had a few miles north of 75 to the Seminole Reservation that looked like it might be more of the same, and I wanted a break. So drove up to Clewiston. I'm going to do this stretch, 45 miles Back down to 75, heading south. So, got up this morning, got a good start. The trail has been rerouted because of a closure of a dike or a canal trail. So I'm on 835, which is straight as an arrow, paved, no berm, for about 8 or 10 miles, I believe. She goes stretching out behind me, and there she goes stretching out in front of me. So, lots of birds this morning. Passed one other hiker heading northbound, and not a lot of traffic on this road. There's more closer to Clewiston, which I just came out of. So it's basically a nice, quiet morning, just walking along the road. The sun is up, it's starting to get hot. I had to put on my big floppy suntan. Yeah, what a great morning. It's all sugarcane over there. And that's all sugarcane over there. Wish it was close to the road without a canal. I'd break off a stalk and chew some. Used to do that as a kid. The neighbor would cut us up little chunks. I was just a wee babe then. Anyways, off we go. I'll talk to you later. Actual crop dusting in action. Some actual crop dusting in action. Well, it was. Now he's heading this way. He was. There he goes. There he goes. Interesting to watch. Hello everybody, One Penny here. Here we are. Some more hiking on the Florida Trail. Did a little flip-flop. This is the first 3 miles I have today, and it is straight as an arrow as far as you can see. 3 miles to get to a picnic table by the trail where I can get picked up. So, just cruising along here. Got some swallows flying all around. I saw one gator splashed into the canal back there. I'm surprised at the lack of wildlife I've seen everywhere, including in the swamp. So, I'm surprised there. Just chugging along. I got this to do today. Tomorrow's supposed to be absolutely horrible, 83 degrees. But gonna try to get a really, really early start and do a 12-mile segment on the trail, which should leave me 2 more days of between 8 and 12-mile segments. That should finish up the northbound section from 75 into Clewiston. So when and if I can get back down here, just start at Clewiston and keep going. Or Clewiston up to Pensacola's what I have left. Whichever direction I do that in. Alright. A little bit of cloud cover. It's a nice breeze up here. It's been a really good day for hiking so far. I'll see y'all later. Bye. That's the sugarcane train. It's got some coal cars on there maybe for processing fuel. Interesting. I've heard of it, never seen it. There she goes. Disappearing into the sugarcane and cornfields. So, for anyone who's not aware, in Florida when they're harvesting the sugarcane, they burn the patches. So you see these big plumes of smoke coming up from where they're burning different patches of sugarcane. It's not the only thing they grow down here. This happens to be rows and rows of sweet corn. That is a huge, huge field of sweet corn. And up ahead, I can just see my turn west on County Road 835. Another half mile. I'll head west for maybe a mile, then back north for a mile, then west for another mile. It's just the way the roads go. See y'all later. Bye. One penny here. That, my friends, is a live alligator in the water in the canal. That's about what I really see. So I've got it zoomed in so far, just to try to, there you go, it's a little easier to get him in there. So that's about what you normally see. The nostrils and the eyeballs sticking above the water, if you see them. You know, there is a live alligator in the canal. I'll see y'all later. A reroute, have to follow the white markers. Good morning, everybody. One penny here. What a great morning. Sun's not up yet. About 7:05. Started off this section of the trail heading south. Today should take me into the Seminole Indian Reservation from the north. And then I'll probably go 2 more miles on, I think it's Hull Road, to get down to Government Road and then get picked up. So distances as usual are questionable. A sign back there said this is actually a reroute and said 6 miles. Online the information said 8 miles. So you never quite know. You just go out and do the best you can. But this is a beautiful road to be hiking on this morning. Beautiful and straight and smooth. So I'm off to a good morning. See y'all later. A beautiful fun sunrise. Starting to get up over the swamp. Beautiful colors. I'm so lucky to be out here. This is so great. Thank God. Wonderful weather. Short section of the hike today, probably a maximum, depending on the different mile measurements, of about 10 and a quarter. Should finish up before noon, and that was planned for a short day, finishing early, because the temperature is supposed to get up to, depending on the forecast, 84 to 86 degrees around 1 or 2 o'clock. Definitely don't want to be spending the entire afternoon hiking to temperatures like that. So going along here, trying to get miles in early this morning. I think it's about 65 right now, and get the day done, and then maybe do some exploring. Try to finish planning out other sections of the trail, and that'd be it. Y'all have a good day. It's beautiful out here. Bye. Here we go. There we go. This is what I think is the mark of a snake crossing the road. Leaves just a little slither mark in the dust. And lucky for me, there's no snake nearby. So there's a foot for reference, size reference, and off I go. And then another day is when I finished the part of the Big Cypress north of 75. And that is a stunningly beautiful section of trail. And I had planned it to go along the what they called the official route, or the Orange Blades route. And from the time I planned it to the time I got there, they moved the Orange Blaze route to another section. There's a number of different paths that all intertwine through that area. So I kept with my plan, which was the old trail that's now just an alternate. But it was just stunningly beautiful. The thing that was a little disconcerting was that there's a lot of bushes in that area that have red berries, which are a favorite meal of the bears. And walking and seeing plenty of bear scat along the trail. I've got some funny video of a turkey that popped out on the trail in front of me and then started running away from me on the trail. And as I walked, it kept running probably 1.5 miles or so. This turkey was in front of me on this trail. He would go up around the corner, and then as I kept walking, when I'd come around the corner, and there would be the turkey, 100 yards up there, and it would take off running again. So that was pretty funny, and just beautiful, beautiful scenery everywhere up there. It's just, I'm so lucky to be able to go through there and see all of that. And then I think the last day was just the last part through the Seminole Reservation, from where you exit the swamp, hike up to get to a dirt road, and then dirt road over to where I had come into the reservation before. So I'll add to these last few videos, I'll add pictures of the various sections and a little films clip, just put them all together and let you see that. And that takes us all the way up to Clewiston. And as we were in those last few days around Clewiston, watching the weather up north, and my neighbor who was taking care of the cats got sick, went to the hospital. Other people were caring for the cats, and I felt it was getting to be too much an imposition on them. They hadn't volunteered to do, they're fine doing it for a few days, but 2-3 weeks was getting to be a little much. And then they called me. They'd fed the cats in the morning, then in one evening they went over and I had water shooting out the side of my house because water pipe had frozen and broke. So called up, had the city shut off the water, decided I needed to stop the journey at that time, head home, take care of things. So that's what I did. So I got all the way up to Clewiston, which is on the south shore of Lake Okeechobee, and went home, took care of everything, and then needed to get back on the trail. It had been 3 weeks or so, so I planned to jump ahead on the trail. So I'll have 1,000 miles in Florida I have to go back and do at some point when it's not so hot. So maybe back again this fall or winter. But then when I planned to go back, I jumped up north because you're also looking at access to the trail, places where you can get to it easy enough without a lot of fuss. And I was not going to have a support driver, so packed up all my stuff, stuck it in a big poly bag, checked my bag, and flew to Pensacola and got it out, and then took an Uber out to Harold's store and started north from there. And I'll talk about that in the next video. So if you guys are still watching, I appreciate it. And I hope that people will consider making a contribution to the charities I've listed. And I still want to go back and make that video giving the details about how to do all that and make sure that hopefully it can be something that we can account for later and see if we actually raised any money or not. But either way, I'll keep doing this. And I'll, for the last few videos I've made sitting here in the same shirt and the same background, I'll go back and put them together and try to add the pictures and the videos from those relevant parts so you can see some of the scenery as I walked along. And I'm very appreciative that I had support for the first section there in Florida. I still think I'm so lucky to be able to do this. Even though right now I'm hung up in this hotel, needed a couple days, try to rest and recuperate my right leg. Had some pain in it and some pain in my back, and dodging some of the nasty weather that's coming. So I'll go back and finish up those videos and get them posted. And I hope you are still watching. I hope that you enjoy these, and I hope you'll make a donation. So that's all for now. One penny out. See y'all later.